The Battle of Wolf 359, or rather its graveyard aftermath featured in the Best of Both Worlds Part 2, is a treasure trove of old school Star Trek ships. All of these faintly visible ships appeared on screen for only a few seconds, but it's a great snapshot of the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the TNG effects team to create something from nothing, because these ships were just hastily thrown together. One of those ships is the USS Kyushu.
The Kyushu.
Which is a New Orleans class ship. So let's dive a little deeper and take a look at the New Orleans class. The New Orleans class is a medium-sized ship compared to the Galaxy class. Based on their similar appearance, it's safe to say that they're from the same era and have similar technology. So if the Galaxy class were a top-of-the-line Mercedes AMG GLS, the New Orleans class would be a well-equipped GLC. Thus, it's likely that it had all the nice 24th century amenities like a holodeck and carpet, maybe? If you were assigned here, you must have done well for yourself at the academy. Good job! Unlike those academic probation graduates that got assigned to some 80-year-old Miranda class. The New Orleans class is the work of model maker Ed Mayarecki. His Star Trek contributions also include some hull pattern work on the Enterprise D and E studio models. He was also at the center of attention of the controversial restoration of the original 1966 Enterprise. In case you're not familiar with that incident, in the early 90s, the National Air and Space Museum hired Mayarecki to restore the original 11-foot Enterprise model. At this point, it was in pretty bad shape. Mayarecki used the best resources he had available to him at the time to complete the task. When he was done, the model had paint details and a prominent grid pattern on the hull that wasn't present when the model was originally constructed. Some fans got bent out of shape and unloaded their hate on Mayarecki for the next 20 some odd years, but today, none of that matters, because in 2016, another restoration was done to correct those issues. Mayarecki's model work outside of Star Trek includes Starship Troopers and Event Horizon. What?
Save yourself from hell.
Sorry, I'm just excited about Discovery, and Event Horizon is an underappreciated gem, no matter what people say. When Mayarecki was tasked with creating new ships for the Wolf 359 graveyard, due to time and money, he was limited to using existing model parts. For the New Orleans class, he used this AMT Enterprise model set. S Scientia, which I'll refer to as EAS from now on because I can't enunciate worth shit, has a great article on the New Orleans class. It goes into a lot of detail and totally worth checking out. The link is in the description. This is a classic example of kit bashing because he's essentially just reconfiguring the saucer section, engineering hull, and warp nacelles. So not to be confused with kit bashing.
It looks like someone got a Cylon pregnant.
When Mayarecki was finished, the ship looked like this, with the saucer section sitting directly on top of the engineering hull, and the nacelle pylons coming straight out from where the neck would be on the Galaxy class. At a quick glance, it's still very similar in appearance to the Enterprise D. The deflector dish is the same, and especially from a distance, this could still be confused for a Galaxy class ship. So Mike Okuda added these pods to the ship to make it look less Enterprise-like. Normally I use more formal diagrams when discussing the ships, but this Eagle Moss model is so good it's worth showing off. It's really the best reproduction you can find of the New Orleans class, or the only reproduction you can find of the New Orleans class. And just for the record, I'm not paid by Eagle Moss or anything like that, I'm not that kind of girl. So let's take a look at how this ship differs from the Enterprise D. The most obvious difference are these three pods, these two at the top and one at the bottom. Since this model was hastily designed and constructed, these pods are actually highlighter markers, specifically Schwann Stabilo highlighters. And as luck would have it, that particular model that was used in the early 90s is still sold today. And here it is. It's refillable and rechargeable? Okay, whatever. And they were painted and attached here and here and here. Other more subtle touches were done to differentiate this from the Galaxy class. The intent was to convey that this is a smaller ship. To do that, the bridge module is proportionally larger. The windows are larger. Scale-wise, they're roughly twice as tall as the same corresponding windows on the Galaxy class. The registry number and ship name are also proportionally larger, both on the top and bottom of the ship. When we get to the engineering hull and nacelles, Mayoreki did more than just glue basic model parts together. Both of these sections are actually extended to further differentiate it from the Galaxy class. The evidence of that can be seen with this second phaser array on the ventral side of the ship. When we take a look at the Galaxy class, there's just one here. The same approach was used with the nacelles. They're also proportionally longer than the ones on the Galaxy class. For that ship, there are these two markings on the top of the nacelle. On the New Orleans class, there are 4 to suggest that an extra bit of material was added here to make it longer. Since this ship was only shown as space debris, most people never got a chance to look at the nice clean version of the model before they took a Bic lighter to it to create the hull damage. That changed in 2015 thanks to Rick Sternbach revealing these images of the pre-damaged model. Again, that EAS article has some great pictures that you can admire all the little details and things like that. Despite its few seconds of screen time, quite a lot of thought and effort went into this little ship. So for authenticity's sake, it's time to make this bad boy look a little bit more screen accurate. So that's the video. Be sure to check out the great in-depth write-up on the New Orleans class at EAS. Thanks to Ben Robinson for his stellar work on this Eaglemoss model. You can follow his continuing work on future models via Twitter here. Big thanks to these folks for helping support the channel. And if you're new around here are some options to stay in the loop. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
And then I will launch attack missiles at the event horizon until I'm satisfied she's vaporized. This ship.